Version 3.2 will be one of the biggest updates in Honkai Star Rail, as it coincides with the game's 2-year anniversary. As I mentioned in a previous video, we already had some leaks about the banners and reruns for this version, but it seems Mihoyo has changed their plans. There's been an adjustment that might disappoint some players and excite others, since this update will feature several highly anticipated characters. The changes weren't too drastic, and if we stop to think about them, they might even make sense. Stick with me until the end of this video, because today we'll discuss these banners and I'll also give you some tips on which characters are worth pulling for if you're still undecided. If you're thinking about pulling for your favorite character but don't have enough stellar jades, let me introduce you to Loot Bar. It's a fast, secure, and super reliable website to top up your Oneiric shards. On Loot Bar, you'll find prices with up to 23% discounts compared to in-game prices and a super simple process. Just select the amount of Oneiric shards you need, enter your UID and server, and complete the purchase. Everything is done securely, so your items are delivered straight to your account without any stress. In addition to Honkai Star Rail on Loot Bar, you can also top up other games like Genshin Impact, Zenless Zone Zero, and Wuthering Waves. And if play on other platforms like PS5 or Xbox, you can also top up at Loot Bar. Click the link in the description and register to get an additional 8% discount coupon that can be combined with all other discounts. If you were planning your pulls based on previous leaks, you might need to reconsider your strategy depending on which character you intended to get. We already know that the new characters for this version will be Castorice in the first phase and Anaxa in the second. This hasn't changed. Both remain in this order. Previously leaked information indicated we'd have 3 reruns in the first phase, and that remains true as well. Initially, these reruns were supposed to be Acheron, Dr. Rachio, and Jiaoqiu. I admit I found these reruns quite odd for the first phase, since Honkai usually features reruns of characters who synergize directly with the new character of that phase. However, if we disregard Castorice, the new character, all other rerun characters actually synergize quite well together. Jiaoqiu pairs nicely with both Acheron and Dr. Rachio. Either way, that's no longer relevant since we've had a change in the first phase banners. Rachio has been replaced by Fugue. But don't worry, if you were planning to pull for Rachio, he hasn't disappeared completely. He's just moved from phase 1 to phase 2 alongside Anaxa. We'll talk more about that second phase shortly. Now, considering Fugue's rerun placement here makes things even stranger. She doesn't directly synergize with Castorice or Acheron, nor is she commonly played alongside Jiaoqiu. What could Mihoyo be planning for this anniversary update? Fugue was originally released in the same patch as Sunday, but is now getting her rerun before him. This would have been a perfect opportunity for a Sunday rerun instead, since he actually pairs well with Castorice. In any case, here are the confirmed banners for Phase 1 of version 3.2. Castorice as the main banner along with reruns of Fugue, Acheron, and Jiaoqiu. Who are you planning to pull for? I imagine most players are aiming for Castorice, right? Moving on to Phase 2 of version 3.2. We'll have Anaxa as our new featured character. There haven't been any changes regarding banner quantity. We'll still have only 2 banners as usual during this phase. Previous leaks suggested Anaxa would run alongside Aventurine's rerun. However, Mihoyo apparently swapped Aventurine out for Dr. Rachio instead. Therefore, Aventurine unfortunately, or fortunately depending on your plans, won't have his rerun during version 3.2 anymore. His last appearance was during version 2.6 alongside Acheron. If you're waiting to pull him again, you'll have to wait a bit longer. To summarize Phase 2 banners clearly, Anaxa will be our main featured banner while Dr. Rachio returns as a rerun character. Let me know in the comments if you're planning to pull either of these 2 characters. Now, let's talk about how worthwhile each character is in terms of pulling, starting with Castorice. Obviously, she's going to be extremely powerful. She'll be only the second Remembrance Path character released in-game and promises impressive damage output combined with an interesting mechanic, consuming allies' HP to summon her Memo Sprite companion into battle. Additionally, Castorice will be the first ever character introduced with a global passive ability, meaning it activates regardless of whether she's actively on your team or not. When an ally dies during combat for the first time per battle, Castorice delays their death temporarily, allowing you time to heal or shield them and avoid losing them entirely. This passive is incredibly strong in endgame content such as Memory of Chaos or Apocalyptic Shadow modes, and we're likely to see more global passives from future characters too. If you like Castorice or simply need a powerful DPS unit for your account overall, She's definitely worth investing into heavily, especially at higher investment levels like Eidolon 2+ Signature Light Cone. Moreover, she's quite free-to-play friendly regarding team composition. Gallagher can provide sustain while Remembrance Trailblazer supports her nicely. Your third slot can comfortably go to Tribi or Sunday, depending on your account availability. Regarding Phase 1, reruns. Acheron remains one of the best DPS units even after a full year since her initial release. She has unique gameplay focused around ultimate damage and enemy debuffs, plus fantastic synergy with other Nihility units like Pela, Silver Wolf, and Jiaoqiu himself, who is also getting his rerun now. My advice would be investing into Acheron only if you have enough resources saved up to secure her signature Light Cone 2, as it drastically boosts her damage potential by allowing her skill to apply 2 debuffs instead of just 1. If you already own Acheron at E0, along with her signature Light Cone from previous banners, then grabbing Jiaoqiu now could actually be very smart, as he significantly boosts her damage output while enabling more frequent ultimates thanks to his abilities. Lastly, from Phase 1, we have Fugue, a highly specialized support focused around super break gameplay similar to Harmony Trailblazer. Obtaining Fugue allows you greater flexibility by freeing up your Trailblazer for Remembrance path usage instead if needed, later down the line gameplay-wise. Especially recommended if using DPS units heavily reliant upon break mechanics, such as Firefly, Boot Hill Rappa, or Himeko. Otherwise, perhaps saving resources might prove wiser overall. As for Phase 2 characters, Anaxa will serve excellently as a sub-DPS, specifically tailored towards erudition teams, especially alongside the Herta due primarily to his multiple AoE attack skills, plus direct buffs, granting plus 30% damage increase specifically towards allied erudition units. Definitely recommended if enjoying erudition-focused gameplay style. Dr. Ratio finally returns after a long wait since his original release back in version 1.6. Although still viable DPS-wise, currently there are stronger options available nowadays, especially considering current difficult endgame content. But if you're personally fond of him or intend investing into Eidolons or Signature Light Cone, then he's absolutely worth pulling now. Finally, remember always, Honkai Star Rail is ultimately meant for fun above everything else. Never feel pressured into pulling certain characters solely because they're considered meta right now. Instead, build enjoyable teams based purely upon personal preferences. Also keep future buffs in mind too, as today's favorites could easily become tomorrow's strongest units. That's all I've got today, everyone. Tell me down below what your plans are regarding upcoming banners, plus general thoughts about Mihoyo's recent adjustments, made specifically within this special anniversary update. If today's video helped out somehow, please leave a like and subscribe so we can continue growing together. See you next time.